doing all right out there. Uh, there it goes. There we go. Cool. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam Mel, Moorish American, here to update you on the rise of the Moors Wakefield Standoff case. Had some news that broke yesterday. Uh, so just wanted to give an update on the information to the people out there, particularly Moors. If you're out there and interested about the case and wanted to keep up to date, you can follow along. And boom, just getting my reports together. You feel me? One second, I'm gonna drop some links in the chat. Here you go. Boom. Right there with it. Providence Journal. The access to you doing that access to story stuff? Come on, family. Let's see if this link will work. Okay. Okay, looks like this will work too. Okay. We're gonna get started in just a second here. I'm just trying to find this other article. Here we go. Yahoo came through for me. Yahoo came through for me. There we go. Bam. What was that other link? Boom. All right. And I dropped some links in the chat, so if you're watching live, you can click those and get the source, the source information of where I'm reading from. Shout out to the Boston Globe and Tanya Alanez on the article, Alanez, and then also Yahoo. They don't even have an author for this, but Yahoo as well. All right. Peace, 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 peace again. I'm Rami Salam Mel, Moorish American. I'm here to give you an update on the rise of the Moors Wakefield standoff case. We had some developments in the case. If you aren't familiar, I'm gonna put a link to the playlist of the different videos I've did, informing you about the case if you haven't heard about it. Long story short, a group of about 11 men. They describe themselves as the Rise of the Moors militia group. Got arrested on Interstate 95 on various charges, currently being held without bail. They also had a dangerousness hearing, and where the judge decided that all of them were not eligible for bail at this time. And so they're all currently awaiting the next court date, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is August 6th, and it is the probable cause hearing. But the news that broke over the past few days is a lawsuit that was filed. And so let me read this real quick for you. And this is coming out of the Providence Journal. Katie Mulvaney, Mulvaney. Shout out to Katie Mulvaney. Members of the Pawtucket group that bills itself the Rise of the Moors are suing the Massachusetts State Police, the judge presiding over their criminal cases, and several media organizations following their arrest earlier this month after an armed standoff with police. The Rise of the Moors and 10 other men were arrested. Da, 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 da. They filed suit Friday in U.S. District Court in Rhode Island. So they're currently being held in jail in Massachusetts. But they filed the lawsuit in U.S. District Court in Rhode Island, accusing the Massachusetts State Police and others of defamation, discrimination of national origin, and deprivation of their rights under the color of law. The lawsuit challenges state court jurisdiction in Massachusetts over the criminal cases facing the men, who claim they are sovereign citizens of Moroccan descent and immune from state law. The Rise of the Moors filing cites the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1787 between the Empire of Morocco and the United States. A quote from the actual lawsuit, it says, if the state courts continue their unlawful prosecution and or conviction, they will be violating the claimant's civil, national, and human rights, the suit says. The men argue that they were exercising their Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms, as well as their inalienable right to have a well-regulated militia at the time of their arrest. The self-identified leader, it's just more about the case. Latimer refused the officer's request to stow the guns, claiming to put away the weapons would be a violation of his Second Amendment rights. I'm going to stay armed for my safety, just like you're going to stay armed for yours, Jamal Latimer stated, according to the police report. I'm just trying to get the update on the actual court, the lawsuit. They face charges. Yeah, we understand the charges. Arrest warrants. We went over the arrest warrants, additional ones. Here we go at the end here. The lawsuit, which Latimer launched from the Middlesex House of Corrections, I believe that's the jail in Massachusetts. The lawsuit named individual Massachusetts state troopers as defendants, as well as media outlets that include AT&T News Media, which owns CNN, Comcast, NBC, Universal News Media, Viacom News Media, News Corporation News Media, and CBS News Media. U.S. District Court Chief Judge John J. That's a tough one there. U.S. District Court Chief Judge John J. McConnell Jr. is presiding over the case. Whew. That's a name for you. And so just to summarize, they're currently being held in jail in Massachusetts. And Jamal, and I believe others are attached to the lawsuit, filed a lawsuit against the Massachusetts state troopers, the judge, and several media outlets. And so that is one of the peace to everybody, peace. So that is a piece of the update. But then in addition to that, because I started looking for links to just get a better understanding, and I found additional lawsuits. And so this article is from the Boston Globe, the Tanya Alanez. The Rise of the Moors members sued Danvers police, then sought to pay filing fees with a silver coin. And so this article is actually from July 8th, 2021. And this whole case is a different case altogether from the Wakefield standoff. But the individual in this case is a self-identified member of the Rise of the Moors militia, just so that you understand. The self-identified member of the group Rise of the Moors sued Danvers police after a traffic stop in November 2019. The federal case didn't go far. The member, Moreno Bay, also known as Leslie Malav, Malave, excuse me if I pronounced that wrong, refused to pay filing fees in US dollars, instead offering a single silver coin as payment, court records show. The U.S. Court of Appeal for the First Court Circuit dismissed Malev's case January 11th, but much of the language, circuitous claims about lack of jurisdiction, broken Moroccan treaties, and the infringement of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People echo arguments heard in Malden District Court this week. Now, Malden District Court was the courthouse where the 10 Rise of the Moors militia groups were having their court case or their trial or their court appearance, rather. And this article is explaining that Moreno Bay and his arguments from the case that happened in 2019 echo the same things that the Rise of the Moors militia group were saying in their Wakefield Standoff court appearance. Several members of the Rhode Island-based group jailed since armed standoff on Interstate 95 over the holiday weekend echo Malev's legalese during their arraignments this week, reading from crumpled notes balled in their cupped hands. And I want to read this right here because I feel this is really important to the overall aspect. Boston lawyer Leonard Keston is well acquainted with going to court with the Rise of the Moors. He represented Danvers police in the traffic stop case involving Malev, who has ties to Lynn and Pawtucket, but was not part of the Wakefield standoff. The Rise of the Moors followers don't believe, quote unquote, black people are citizens of the United States, and therefore should not be governed by its laws. They filed this ludicrous lawsuit citing everything, including the Moorish Treaty of 1787, as an exemption from U.S. laws, Keston said. I actually read it, and it doesn't say what they think it does. Despite making such assertions, the Rise of the Moors still claim U.S. constitutional rights to due process, free speech, and the right to bear arms. They can't have it both ways, Keston said. I think that's really important, and I want to come back to it. Malev's complaint filed November 4th, 2019 involved a traffic stop of seeming little note other than the fact that he filed a federal complaint, Attorney Keston said. It goes into the actual case, but I just wanted to get the court proceedings more so. According to Malay's court filing, the incident resolved after he submitted to officers under duress. No, that's not the part that I want to read. An update on the case. Here we go. Down at the bottom, it says the judge dismissed the case. Malay filed an appeal, but again failed to pay a filing fee. He was trying to pay the filing fee with a silver coin. The U.S. Court of Appeal for the First Circuit reviewed the case anyway, refusing the silver coin as payment. Having given full consideration to that filing, this appeal is dismissed for failure to prosecute, Clerk Maria R. Hamilton wrote in a judgment entered January 11, 2021. So this case, started in late 2019, and the appeal was dismissed January 11, 2021. Dang, I didn't mean to close that article. And then there was another additional lawsuit also tying in with the rise of the Moors. So let me just put that on the record as well. And this one is from the Yahoo News link. Rise of the Moors group involved in 2019 New Hampshire incident. So another incident that happened in 2019, but separate from the incident with Moreno Bay or Malave and the silver coin. So this is a third incident. You have the Wakefield standoff, what happened this year, July 3rd, 2021. You had another incident with Moreno Bay in 2019, and then you also have this incident here in 2019. It says the group involved in the standoff that closed down I-95 filed a federal lawsuit against New Hampshire officials in 2019 after an encounter with police in Marlborough. The lawsuit alleged that police violated the rights of two self-identified members of Rise of the Moors, was dismissed by a U.S. District Court judge last August after the plaintiffs repeatedly failed to submit required paperwork and court fees. So again, another similar issue in terms of the court fees um, in this lawsuit. On November 12th, 2019, a Marlboro police officer pulled over a driver later identified as Leon J. Campbell of Lowell, Massachusetts, who stated he did not need a state-issued driver's license or car registration, according to published accounts. While this was going on, Campbell's companions in two other cars pulled over and surrounded police officers in a parking lot. Police at the time said the group identified themselves as Moorish sovereigns and sovereign citizens. Campbell presented an identity card in the name of Leonidas J. Bay. In a lawsuit filed 10 days later, two men who listed their address as Rise of the Moors in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, sued police departments and individual officers from Marlborough, Harrisville, Dublin, and Troy, as well as the state police and the Cheshire County Department of Corrections for violating their rights, extortion, and other allegations. After the group's legal efforts to avoid paying court fees failed, a judge dismissed their claims late August. So I wanted to read that case because that was a case where, they again filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court, and that lawsuit was dismissed. Um, just to give some context for the news that broke recently involving the Rise of the Moors that filed a lawsuit in the Wakefield standoff case. And in that case, what was important, I forgot to mention that when I was reading earlier, that they sued for the lawsuit sues for damages of $70 million in this new Rise of the Moors lawsuit. Um, So it's a pretty significant amount of damages. I'm not an attorney or, some expert in law, so I don't know how they calculated the damages to amount in $70 million. But that is where the current situation stands. Um, what is upcoming next is the probable cause hearing in August. Um, yeah, that is all the news that I have as it relates to the rise of the Moors militia group in their case. Oh, I did want to mention that one thing. Um, that what was the lawyer had said? Let me try to get it without looking. The lawyer had said that let me not do that. Let me just try to look for it. 1 second. Dang. Paraphrasing. Let me try to look for exactly what the lawyer said. Okay, here we go. Never mind. Says quoting again from the Danvers police traffic stop in 2019 with Moreno Bay Malave, the Boston lawyer Leonard Keston said, they filed this ludicrous lawsuit citing everything, including the Moorish Treaty of 1787. I actually read it, and it doesn't say what they think it does. And he says further, despite making such assertions, um, that the rise of the Moors, that they are not subject or, they're not subject to the laws of the states, being connected to this Moorish treaty. Says, despite making such assertions, the rise of the Moors still claim U.S. constitutional rights to due process, free speech, and the right to bear arms. They can't have it both ways, Keston said. I felt that was really profound because if you've been following along and you're having some trouble understanding, at the crux of this case, what's going on, in my opinion, now, this is from my perspective, my opinion on it, studying it, is that this group believes that they can pick and choose which laws apply to them or which laws they can use or which rights they can use. So on one hand, they'll say, due to the Constitution, we have the right to bear arms. But then in the next breath, they'll say, well, they don't have jurisdiction over me because I'm not a part of the United States. I'm not a citizen I'm a citizen of Morocco, or I'm a more sovereign, something like that, but they're not subject. And so, you can't have, that's the thing, what I felt was really powerful is that you can't have it both ways. You can't say in one breath, "Oh, I'm not subject to any of your laws," but then on another breath say, "No, those rights apply to me." It's like you can't have one foot in, one foot out. You can't say red light, green light, red light, green. You know what I mean? I hope that kind of clears up things. Oh man, wow! All of I didn't see all these messages. Peace, 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 Islam. Peace, shalom. Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Um, Let me get to these questions. Anthony Tamilio. Why would they be immune to the laws, not here to troll? The standoff wasn't too far from where I live, and I'm just curious. Anthony Tamilio. Um, I can't truly answer for them because I don't believe what they believe. My understanding is that they feel that because they claim to be indigenous and aboriginal and Moors, they are part of the treaty, and they feel that the treaty is more supreme than any state laws. Any state laws, and I believe federal laws as well. I'm not really sure what their belief are, but in essence, that they believe because they're Moors and connected to the treaty from 1787, that gives them immunity from state laws. Um, but to be fair, I think it would be best to ask them that to get the most accurate answer. That's just my understanding. Um, Ernest Bennett Jr., Islam. I'm doing all right. It's a beautiful day out here, Ernest. Um, yeah. Um, Ernest Bennett Jr. How may I get a Moorish lawyer? I don't know. I don't know of any official or you know legal, or I don't know of any Moors that have went through the bar exam to be a Moorish lawyer per se. Uh, but if there are any out there, I don't know, drop a message in the comment section. Maybe you can reach out to them like that, Ernest. Um, is there any other questions? Let's see here. Assalamu alaikum, Hamad. Uh, um, Let me say this to individuals that may be Rise of the Moors supporters or followers. Um, I think it would be wise for you to take a step back um, and get your feelings out of this situation and examine the situation with a more critically thinking mind. Yeah, I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but I feel humbly that there are many people that there are many Moors that have been tricked or misled into thinking what those individuals are doing was somehow what Moorish Americans are supposed to be doing, somehow that it was lawful. Um, and based on the evidence and based on the facts presented just so far, that isn't the case. And I think you are doing a disservice to those brothers that are locked up by trying to like keep put that battery in their back and charge them up, thinking that yeah they're doing the right thing. They didn't do anything wrong. What did they do wrong? I think, in my humble opinion, I believe that many of the people connected to the Rise of the Moors group don't understand the gravity of the situation and don't realize how serious this case is, and I think that's going to result in some terrible consequences. So humbly, I'm saying, as opposed to attacking me for just reporting the information to people, um, as opposed to disrespecting me and my family because I don't agree with radical beliefs of individuals, I think it would be more productive and more helpful if you spent your time and energy trying to help those individuals out of jail and trying to do your best to get this situation resolved with as little jail time as possible, prison time as possible. That's just my opinion. Um, you know, yeah. Um, Khalifa L, logic over emotions. Indeed. Logic over emotions is the key. Um, Let me see. Is there any other questions? I don't think I missed any of the questions. No? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any other questions related to the Rise of the Moors case. Um, no other no other questions before I go ahead and shut it on down. I just wanted to yeah, the individual from Trinidad is indeed doing some things. Well, I will say this before I close. To especially to individuals who are not Moors or don't identify as Moorish American, um, please understand that, mm, to summarize, all so-called black, so-called Negro, so-called African American people, we are actually Moors, descendants of Moors that you see in history, 7/11, 1492. Um, we identify ourselves by our national name, which is Moorish Americans. Now, there are some individuals among our group that believe in doing things in a very extreme and radical and dangerous way. Please understand that those individuals don't represent the whole group, that those individuals are not even operating on the principles that we should be, and most of us do operate on the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Um, it's unfortunate at this time that there's so much confusion, but I hope as we progress in the future, things will be more clear about who Moorish Americans are, what we stand for, what we represent, what our principles and beliefs are, and that way and you'll be able to see it through our actions, and that way you'll be able to distinguish people who are true Moorish Americans and people who are calling themselves Moors and doing some things that are very dishonorable. Or yeah, that's what I'll say. Okay, Malik Bey, you don't want them free. It would destroy you mentally when they win by law, you nation traitor. Clown emoji. Uh, I'm gonna pray for you, Malik. It's clear that you have some issues. Um, I'm not the enemy. I'm not the one that broke any laws. I'm not the one that got a bunch of people arrested with felony charges. Um, I, I'm not the one. So please stop attacking me. I'm simply providing information to other Moors, Moorish Americans, and people in general regarding the case. Rather than continue to harass and disrespect, call me names, threaten violence against Moors, rather than do that, brother, just go help free your people. Go free your militia leader. If you truly believe, if you know about the laws as much as you claim you do, spend your time helping them. Because attacking me isn't gonna help them. Disrespecting Moors, disrespecting people, isn't gonna get those charges dismissed. Please understand that. It doesn't make you any more righteous. It's not helping at all. In fact, it's really embarrassing and it's shameful. And it makes all Moors look bad. So please stop doing that. Take your attention somewhere else. Or just be respectful. That's all. Love instead of hate. You feel me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um Actually, before I close, I'm glad I saw that. Before I close, let me also put this on the record because I see a lot of Rise of the Moors and supporters of that militia group echoing the same thing. And I just want to make this all I want to make this clear also. Um, Many of those individuals that are pushing that kind of extremist ideology, they tend to refer to all Europeans as colonists and or what was the phrase? The hybrid hybrid European colonizers. Um, and I often see people like that, people like Malik and some more kind of extremist individuals making it seem like it's this thing about Moors versus quote unquote European colonizers or Moors versus quote unquote white people. Um, that's not what Moorish Americans are about. That's not what the Moorish Divine and National Movement is about. That's not what the Moorish Science Temple of America is about. That's not what Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So anyone that is pushing those bigoted, uh, just ignorant kind of ideologies or that is trying to classify all Europeans as these colonizers and the enemy, please understand that they're not mentally right. They don't truly understand what this movement is about. Um, and to look past them and to understand that this movement is truly about uplifting all of humanity, which includes our sisters and brothers that are from Europe, as well as our sisters and brothers that are from Asia and Africa and South America and anywhere else on this planet. Yeah. Um, no other questions. I agree, Noble Kill. I agree. Um, Greetings, peace, and love. Um, I don't see I don't see any other questions. So on that, I think I'm good with the updates, the statements. If there's any other news that breaks before the probable cause hearing, I'll do my best to cover it. Um, if not, stay tuned. Come back around August 7th or so. I should have an update of the information. Oh, wow. Lift every voice. I'll close out with that great question. That great question. It's a great question, and I apologize because typically with these videos, I've just been doing my best to just provide the information as it relates to the case. So that being said, if you was just here for the case stuff, what I mean, bounce out because I'm about to bring something that's considered religious or spiritual. So I don't want to offend or mislead, whatever. Now, lift every voice. Let me answer this question as I get out of here. How is it our responsibility to uplift quote unquote hybrids? When you say hybrids, um, derogatory or not so kind way to refer to European people. So, how is it our responsibility to uplift Europeans? Well, well, in the Quran, Circle 7, the Noble Drew Ali brought, who we consider to be a prophet, a universal prophet, a true and divine prophet, a prophet sent by our Creator, we identify as Allah, with a message for us. And one of the important messages that he sent, or that he brought, chapter 48, line 11, we are trying to uplift fallen humanity. It doesn't say we are trying to uplift fallen Moors. It doesn't say we are trying to uplift fallen Asiatics. It doesn't say we are trying to uplift fallen African people. It doesn't say we are trying to uplift fallen melanated people. It says humanity. That's including all human beings, including Europeans. But let me make it extra clear for you. Lift every voice. Hope you're still listening. Chapter 47. No, not 47. Not 47. Um, Here we go. Chapter 46. The beginning of Christianity is the name of the chapter. Line 9. Chapter 46, line 9. And I quote, all nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. But there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days. And it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Let me read that one more time. Lift every voice. Every voice. You feel me? All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. All nations, including European nations, they are seeking peace also. But there is one true and divine way that peace may be obtained. So all nations are seeking the peace, and there's one way to get that peace. What is the one way to get that peace? Lift every voice. Let's read. There's one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is in through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally. Universally means everybody. But just in case you wasn't clear, it says to all nations. It doesn't say to all Moorish nations. It doesn't say to all Asiatic nations. It doesn't say to all melanated nations. To all nations in all lands. So just if you wasn't clear on the universally and the all nations, it's clear all lands. So all the nations, all the lands, universally, everybody's supposed to be getting taught love, true peace, freedom, and justice. So to your question, how is it our responsibility to uplift hybrids, quote unquote hybrids, European brothers? Well, according to the Quran, Circle 7, it's our responsibility. This is what it says in the book. We are supposed to be uplifting fallen humanity, teaching love, true peace, freedom, and justice universally to all nations in all lands. Hope that answered your question. Good guy, like due process and equal treatment under the law. Um, mm, like due process and equal treatment under the law. The United States Constitution applies to all persons, which includes both documented and undocumented immigrants, and not just U.S. citizens. One time, good guy. Good guy. He's a good guy. Get it? Anyways. Uh, and Hamad, these individuals, anyone else watching, individuals that speak about our European sisters and brothers as quote unquote hybrid colonizers, um, they just have some hate in their heart that they need to heal from. You know what I mean? So let's do our best not to try to meet them in that lower vibration and meet them on that lower energy and just continue to uplift people. Um yeah, yeah. Oh man. Oh, praise Allah, Hamad. On that note, that's a powerful thing because I didn't even read it, but let me read it now. And then I'm gonna stop because I didn't mean to get into teaching out of this Quran, at least in this video. Hamad Malik said, as someone from the Indian subcontinent, we were enslaved and killed for 700 years. Do you really want to compare notes? Pray for those who oppress, who are oppressed. They are human. To your point, in our book, it teaches us um, in chapter 47 through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, Black, and Colored was given to the Asiatics of America who are of Moorish descent. But it teaches us that every nation has suffered, through slavery, through some difficult times, which is why it's very important that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, loving instead of hating, is taught universally to all nations because everybody has suffered through a form of slavery, through a form of oppression. You know what I mean? The Indian, and just on that note, I was doing some research some years ago and found out that Southern India had a Black Panther chapter out in Southern India, in the East. It was called I believe it's called the Tamil Black Panthers, Tamil Black Panthers. But if you just look up Southern India Black Panthers, Tamil Black Panthers, you'll see. And then if you do some research, you'll understand that there was and still is a caste system in India where, depending on how dark or light you were, it put you in a certain class of people, and you couldn't move up or progress if you were in a certain class. And one of those classes, if I'm not mistaken, was called the undesirables. Really dark skinned people tended to be from southern India. Um, and I say all of that just to bring it back around, which is why it's important to recognize the humanity in everybody, to love instead of hate when it comes to everybody, to do our best to understand different nations and different cultures and the history of different people so we can understand we all in this together. We need to uplift each other. We all need to work to help uplift ourselves. Um, but that's enough of that. I'm going off way off topic from the Rise of the Moors update. Um, thank you very much for tuning in. Um, we'll update you when more news drops. Um, please look into the information for yourself. If you're not a Moor or Moorish American and you're finding out about this case, please do your best to reserve or to hold judgment against all Moors based on this situation, um, because it is not an accurate reflection of all Moorish American people. So, with that, thank you. And even to the individual that is continuing to just say disrespectful things and the threats and all of that in the chat, much love to you. Even though you bring in hateful and negative energy, much love to you. I hope Allah heals your heart. I hope Allah um, cleans the fog from your eyes so that you'll be able to really see what's going on. Um, and much love to everybody that's watching, because love is the key. Love is the way. Thank you for watching. You have a great day. Tamil Tigers, indeed. Much love. Peace.